So, Joe, I think one of the most common questions that we get is how to pay for solar. And as we were researching, like what the most looked up questions that people are searching for online are, how do I pay for solar is in the top five. So I'm sure you get this question from customers all the time. And Exact Solar offers three different options. We offer cash payment, we offer financing through Clean Energy Credit Union, and then we offer a PPA. So let's start with cash. How does paying for solar in cash work? What are the pros and cons?
So with a cash purchase, essentially you're putting your own money into the system. You'll own the system. You're responsible for the maintenance. You own all the incentives and the energy that it produces. What this does is it completely eliminates your bill or significantly reduces it, and that will give you a close to $0 monthly utility bill. So the benefit of that is that if you have the cash to do it, you're going to save more each month, and you're going to save a lot more over the long run. With the financing, it's essentially the same thing. You own the system, but rather than putting all of paying for the entire price, you're going to get a loan from a bank, and you're just going to replace your utility payment with a fixed monthly loan payment that doesn't increase. With the PPA, you don't have to pay anything. A third party company will pay us to do the construction work, and then you're going to get a 20 to 40% reduction in your bill up front, which will increase year after year because of our offering. So with the 0% annual escalator, as the utility increases 3 to 5% each year, you're going to have a fixed in rate that won't increase. So you'll end up saving a little bit more each year as time goes on over the 25 years.
So, who do you think would be best for each option? Like, if someone's in a certain situation with their home or they're just thinking about paying for solar differently, like what are the pros and cons for someone, let's say they want to pay for solar in cash, or they just maybe don't want to tie up a bunch of cash, or they don't want to put any money down? Like go through the different pros and cons or for different situations that you've had homeowners tell you about.
So I guess with cash, really the con is, you have to spend 20 to $40,000 on average for a system. You're responsible for the maintenance, which can be a cost. There's not a whole lot of routine maintenance that comes with solar, but like microinverters malfunctioning, maybe a crack in a panel or something like that, that's your cost. So the cons of that is you have to put a lot of money down up front. Uh, you're responsible for the maintenance. The pros, you end up saving a lot more. You own the system, you own the energy, you own everything about your home. If you're building a new home from scratch and you want to add solar as part of the pre-construction process and you have the extra money, it probably just makes sense to own it. Really, the PPA and the financing, if you still want to own the system, but you don't want to like have somebody else own the system on your roof, if you want to still own the system but not have to put all of your money into it up front, that's a really good option. With the PPA, if you don't have the money to invest in solar and you just want to reduce your energy cost, and not be responsible and have no risk or near zero risk, that's really the pro with the PPA is that you can get energy savings and lock it in over the next 25 years for no out of pocket.
Right. So the PPA is no money down, your energy bill goes down, and it just stays at the same cost for the next 25 years while everyone else's bills go up.
Exactly, yeah. So for no out of pocket, you're reducing your bill by 20 to 40%, and then you're locking in your utility rate for the next 25 years.
Yeah, and what are some things that people have told you after the fact that they've been excited about, or, things that people have gotten excited about with each option? Like, what do people rave about when they're talking about cash, financing, PPA? What do people get really fired up about?
So with cash, people are really excited to see that they don't have to pay a utility bill anymore. With financing, it's a similar story to the PPA. They're excited. People's bills go up and down throughout the year. They're happy to replace that with just a fixed monthly payment that's still a little bit lower than the utility. With the PPA, they're happy. Oh my gosh, I didn't have to pay anything. My bills, you save me $150, $200 in my bill, and the savings are going to go up each year. So those are really the three main things that you see. It's really about the savings that solar provides people. People are really excited once they realize and they see the numbers, like that they locked in such a low cost of power and they don't have to be at the whim of a utility company anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, $150 to $200 a month is big. I mean, that's, an extra load of groceries, or if you change nothing about your life, you can just drop that into an index fund or something. And yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's really, it's cool to see people start to pay attention to their energy costs. As time goes on and things develop, I think being smart about your energy and how much you're spending each month on energy, that's one becoming something that we unfortunately have to pay attention to more in today's day and age. And it's just becoming something that you can effectively do. Solar, I think, just solves the issue of utility costs rising, spiking over time. The demand for electricity is right now greater than it ever has been, and it's probably not going to slow down. So I think no matter how you do it, I think solar's a good option. It solves a really big issue.
and I think that if someone sees that we're offering a PPA, and then they go Google what is a PPA, or they plug it into ChatGPT or whatever, they're probably going to see a bunch of scary news stories that might scare them away from the idea. So will you please spend a minute talking about like why Exact Solar is a little more ethical, the time we took to make sure that we were doing it in a better way, and why our offering is different than other people's?
Yeah, so I would say, the way that we're different is we're a legitimate solar construction company across residential, commercial, and industrial verticals. So we don't just focus on one lane. We're all in-house. There's no subcontractors or anybody that, we're paying the lowest price to go do the construction work for us. We're doing all that ourselves. As far as the offer that we locked in, so we're an amicus partner. So we're part of a purchasing cooperative of really, really high reputation companies with an average 20 years in business. And we use that to get with PPA companies or lenders to get special offers that are more competitive than the market rate. The reason being, we're just a lower risk construction company to do business with. So with our 0% escalator offer, we got that just because of our reputation, and we're a part of a group that leverages reputations to solar companies to get really attractive deals for our customers. I think something that's important about our PPA as well is the customer is still our customer. We're really just using the PPA as a way to deploy solar on somebody's house. We're not selling PPAs to people. We're installing solar on the roofs. We're doing a really good job, and we wanted to make sure that the PPA that we have was just a way to continue to do that.
And for anyone who isn't familiar with the term, last question I'll ask you is what is an escalator, and why is it great that our contract doesn't have one?
So an escalator is usually when you see a PPA or a power purchase agreement, it'll increase 2 to 3% each year, the same way that a utility does. So other companies, they'll still offer a lower rate than what the utility is offering now, but it'll increase. So your savings will remain the same each year. I think the 0% escalator is so important because what you're effectively doing is you're locking in a lower rate than the utility is charging you now, and it's never going to go up. So whatever rate you get from the power purchase agreement company, whether it's 12 cents, 15 cents, 16 cents, it'll stay that 12 to 16 cent rate for the next 25 years. So you're effectively you're locking in your utility rate for the next 25 years.
Yeah, we ran some numbers on it, and we were looking at like I think one thing that a lot of people don't understand too is that if you have an escalator buried in your contract and it's 3% every year, it's going to increase exponentially. So like you might be paying less for the first few years, but then you're going to be paying more than double towards the end of the contract than you would have been if you had just signed up for a contract with no escalator.
Exactly.
And some
Yep.
people will also say, well, it looks like, I'll be paying less for the first 5 years. I might sell my home, I might move out. But imagine the difference between you're selling your home and you're talking someone into taking over a contract that will go up exponentially versus selling your home and talking someone into taking over a contract that will never go up.
Right. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You cut out.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so I mean, imagine the difference. Like you're selling your home. So imagine the difference between talking someone into taking over a contract that is going to go up exponentially, just like with the utility, versus you're selling your home and you get to say you have that you get to tell the new homeowner you have a locked in price for power that is never going to increase. One of those is going to be much easier to talk someone into taking over that contract for you.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, if you can, if you're looking to sell your home and you can tell somebody, hey, the cost of energy in this home for the next 25 years is 12 cents, and it will be 12 cents for the next 25 years. It will never go up. I think that's a huge differentiator between telling somebody, hey, we have this solar lease on our roof. You're going to save a little bit now, but in the long run, you're actually not going to save that much money at all. You know, I think it's yeah, you're able to tell someone who's buying your home, hey, we locked in your utility cost, and it's going to be lower, and it's the savings are going to increase each year if you buy this house from us.
Well, Joe, thank you for coming on today and breaking that down. And yeah, for everyone who's listening, we're going to do more of these educational type videos. So thank you for tuning in today. We hope you learned something.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me.